I hear anybody.
Hey, darling.
Hey.
How you going?
Good. Can you hear me? Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Can you?
Hi. I'm just trying to work out my...
Hi.
I'm on my phone. Hi. I haven't done this on my phone before.
Here you go. I've asked you to start your video.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
Hi. How is everybody?
Good.
Awesome.
Feeling good. How are you doing, Kate?
Great. Thank you. Really good. Yeah. Wow. 1 a.m. in Brussels.
Oh, my lordy. Hey, Pushka. Oh.
Yay. Amazing. How is everyone all over the world? How many countries do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From what I can see. Amazing. Jenny, I saw your video to the school this morning on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
That was so beautiful. Do you want to tell people about it?
Yeah, okay, I can. So my gorgeous little, I'm the principal of a primary school, and we've got about 160 kids. And obviously we've been in lockdown and going through various alert levels. And I decided yesterday to just do a bit of a video chat to my community rather than sending an email or a newsletter. And it actually came from the fact that I was feeling so utterly shit. And I was like, all day I was kind of in this murky shadow of being frustrated and kind of just seeing the darkness and the things that I guess came to light, things that I'm finding really difficult about lockdown. So I did a little video. I thought, well, I'm going to contribute, because if I'm feeling like this, then it's kind of the time to show up and be vulnerable and talk to my community in that way. And yeah, I just pressed record and started chatting, and it just felt really good to reach out when I was feeling not good, knowing that you can reach out and help others, and then in turn you feel better. You know, it's that cycle, and it's been really well received. It was very sweet.
Yeah, it was. I loved all the parents' comments. Were so beautiful. They were so appreciative. Such a different way to run a school. You're so amazing.
Well, thank you. It certainly is the only way to run a school. If that's lockdowns taught me one thing, it's like my appraisal goal this year was heart-centered leadership, and to kind of advance my own heart-based practices in my school. And then and then the lockdown happened, and it's like, this is actually what I'm meant to be doing, because you can't lead a community any other way, really, in this time. It's just what it is. So what a great opportunity to put it into practice.
Yeah, the kids are so lucky to have you. I was talking to my kids yesterday about like possibly moving to a different type of school. Like, the Australian education system is so different to the New Zealand one. And I was talking to my kids about possibly like moving to a Steiner school, to more of like a Steiner type school, which is what they're used to, obviously, from New Zealand. And they actually said, I wish Jenny Bennett could just be all the teachers in all the schools everywhere. It was like,
Ah, that's good. Well, I don't think my children would share that view, having homeschooled them for 6 weeks now. I think that they're the ones that are locked down with the principal. It's been awesome. What a great community. And I love the fact that when you show who you are, really there and just being vulnerable. And I mean, I was nearly in tears as I was kind of talking in parts of it. But actually the messages I got from families afterwards who are not actually doing okay and who need some on-site supervision, and they've been too, in New Zealand we'd say whakama, like sort of shamed to reach out because they're like, oh, I'm not an essential worker, but I don't have a job. And it's like, actually, if you need this, and we're here to support you and give you this. So we've got another 4 kids who are coming to school next week, and it's because, like I said in my video, you are essential. You're essential to your children. We need you to be well. And so I guess that was a really positive thing to come from it, that we're able to help these families.
Yeah, totally.
Jenny, you're amazing.
Hey.
Hey, Matt.
I was here the whole time, just
Were you?
inspired by Jenny's passion, didn't want to interrupt that flow.
Aww.
I've been thinking a lot during COVID how amazing it would be to have a lull for kids during this time and support parents in teaching their kids around emotional intelligence and stillness and how to sit with themselves and how to meditate. So great.
Totally.
I have a feeling it'll come out of the category conscious relationships and family units. I'm hoping someone will champion lull for kids, and we can partner with them to bring that to the world.
Oh, that's exciting. That's very cool. Resonating. My heart's just surged for sure. Yeah, now more than ever, there's a need for our parents to be working with their children because they are their first teachers. And I think we kind of lost that and got a little bit departed from it, not because of our parents' intentions, just because of how, society's kind of driven us away from that, in a sense, with our responsibilities and, what do they call it, competing truths. And actually now we're all back sort of reconnecting with our families, and just let's remind us and our families and our communities that we are their teachers. Let's learn together.
Yes, I love. I really reflected so much on what you were sharing with me as well, Jenny, about the environment finally having time to rejuvenate. I've noticed it so much here in Oz, just the butterflies and the birds and the fish in the ocean, and just really hope that people actually take the time to see the difference that's made when Mother Nature is not needing to try and compensate all of our unconscious abuse. But again, these are the conversations I want, and I know will happen inside of the membership and the think tank, so this awareness can be spread and actions can be taken to create that planet.
Heck yes, we're there, sister.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being patient with us yesterday. That was the team was so devastated. Everyone was working to such a tight timeline, and all of us were good to go, and there was a development glitch, so we appreciate you guys. I even was I called the web developer and I was like, you could not have found a more loving community or client to an understanding community to accidentally do this to. Just reading all of your messages on WhatsApp, I was like, oh my God, you guys are the best. Honestly, the actual best. Okay, are we live on Facebook now, Kate?
Yeah, we are.
Hey Facebook fam, just so you know, you can be live with us on Zoom if you want to jump on, look at all of these beautiful faces. You can join us if you feel called or you want to ask questions along the way. Welcome to the official launch of the Love Out Loud membership. This is where everyone unmutes themselves and celebrates loudly.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are so precious. So, bit of an agenda. This is some of our beautiful tribe members are also live in the Love Out Louders group. If you're new to the group, welcome to our crazy family of global change makers who all work every day for the betterment of humanity and to evolve humanity through love. What I know makes our community so unique and so different is our unified vision, and how it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, how your skill sets are. When you come together with people that truly have a unified vision, something very, very beautiful happens. We start to recognize that our differences they're just nothing in compared to the humanity that exists inside of us, and to come into a space where the values, alignment, and the embodiment of the community really speak to that unity that is the truth for all of us. It's very, very, very special, and I feel honored every day to get to be a leader of this with you guys. And I just want to take a moment to, really, again, show my gratitude and express my gratitude to you, because this is a co-created movement. This is about us being collaborative and actually all understanding that we're a piece of the puzzle, and the ultimate puzzle being this incredible heaven on earth that already is so real inside all of our individual hearts. Now we just get to have fun and watch it unfold together, because it's already real, it's already done. The agenda of this meeting is to talk you guys through all of the offerings inside of the membership, to answer any questions you have about the membership, and basically call out to any visionary, any entrepreneur, any leader, any change maker, any human being that's passionate about these areas of social impact that we've identified we want to be focusing on as a movement, which we've given a lot of consideration to, hence the extra week we needed. A lot of that came down to ideating and making sure that in the 13 key areas of social impact we want to be exploring inside this membership in this group, the number one thing was solidarity for us. We wanted a community that was representative of our global humanity and our global family. So it was a really beautiful process, and I want to just shout out to my team for your incredible hard work. A special shout out to Shay, our head of social impact, who really was the lead in so many ways of choosing these 13 categories of social impact, which as soon as I read them, it was such a beautiful moment for me to see how inclusive these areas of social impact are, and how revolutionary that is, to be nurturing and cultivating a community where even in areas that still require action and social advocacy, we're doing it in a way that is loving and compassionate and inclusive. And that's really special, and something that I haven't really ever seen demonstrated in the world. So thank you for making history with us. And I'm really excited to present this. Let's go. Are you guys ready? Okay, cool. Kate, maybe make sure that things are on speaker view, so that's as we're recording and streaming into Facebook, that's all good to go. Actually, before I run you through everything, I want to tell the Facebook fam the story of how we even created this incredible membership. So Love Out Loud's been up to some pretty epic things since COVID. The first started with basically all of the borders closing, and the team and I looking at what our plans were going to be over the next 12 months, which looks like traveling to tens of different countries and running trainings and retreats. So all of a sudden, our vehicle, our way of creating the world's largest love-based movement, and our pathways to do that, as many of us experienced, were just taken right from underneath us. And in my leadership, I had a decision to make. I was either going to give into the anxiety and the panic when the world actually needed our message the most, or I was going to lean in and basically do the opposite of what everyone was encouraging us to do, which was to essentially be afraid which is definitely not the Love Out Loud way. So I got my team together from all their various parts of Queensland and put them in a room together and said, guys, we need to restructure how this is going to look, and we need to be responsive, and we need to remember that the movement is about bringing a frequency and a vibration and a possibility to humanity, and there's an infinite amount of ways we can be doing this, and now's the time to think different. Now's the time to lean on our community and actually become even more cooperative, even more collaborative, even more expansive, because the world needs this message more than ever. And the first crazy project that we executed on was getting over 100,000 people globally to meditate. And the global partners that came on through that, the speakers that were donating their time all day during a 12-hour live stream, because they believed in Meditate for Love, they believed in the unification of the planet, they believed in the mission of Love Out Loud, absolutely blew me away and opened my mind to the true possibilities of what we can be creating in today's climate. And I really started to rethink how I wanted to model Love Out Loud moving forward. And two of the key words that kept coming to me were unity and accessibility. This needs to be unified and it needs to be accessible for all. And really creating spaces and projects and programs that can truly bring things from ideation all the way through to execution in a way where everyone feels heard and represented. So we opened our Master Heart program, and again, many of you guys are on the Zoom call with us now, like the inclusion and the closeness and the family feel of 200 people from 22 countries around the world. The biggest thing for me is that it showed me that love really doesn't have borders. Love doesn't have boundaries. Love doesn't have limitations. It's so much bigger than that. It's so much more than that. And whether we're sitting at home in our living room or the time comes where we can actually be together again in person, it doesn't actually make a difference to that feeling of family and that feeling of unity. And my whole team was so inspired by this. We took it to these leaders and said, how can we create something that consistently serves you, that gives you touch points of community and communication and that deep sense of family and belonging, whilst also creating a space where we can make change in the world. And so the Love Out Loud membership was born, a platform that has very, very limited barriers to entry, that is designed in every facet to cultivate the leader within you and to guide you on a journey of really being able to create global change through the power of community and togetherness. So this is it, guys. This is the new love child of Love Out Loud, the official Love Out Loud membership, the space of global visioning. You would have no idea how many hours it took us to come up with that one sentence, because this was very important. This one sentence is extremely important. It sets the whole energetic of what this is. And this is, to me, the encapsulation of what we're creating, the space where we're envisioning the future, the space where infinite possibilities and our imagination can actually be bridged with reality, and we can start to sculpt out the future that we want, rather than being a victim of systems that are no longer serving us. So let's go. What is the Love Out Loud membership? It's a space where global visioning becomes possible, as I just said. One of the things that we really considered, and we did a lot of research into membership groups. This is something I'm really into in my leadership, is looking at what sort of industry standard is. And some of the statistics were really uninspiring. Like, most membership groups have under 10% engagement rate. So only 10% of members, if that, are actually engaging in the community. So one of the key questions that I was asking from the onset of creating the membership is, how do we get 90 to 100% engagement? How can we completely revolutionize the average of how memberships are being utilized? Because again, the technology that we have available to us now, there's so much we can achieve together. And it's so interesting to me that even when the platform is there, in so many instances, it's not being leveraged, it's not being owned by the community. So ownership became one of the keys for us. How do we create a community and a membership where every single community member felt like they owned a part of that membership, felt like they owned their part and their responsibility to the greater vision of impacting 4% of the global population, or critical mass, in the message of love. So you'll see interweaving through everything that we're offering, it's very collaborative. It requires your participation. We're calling forward your ideas and your involvement in order to make this what it's designed to be. So I've just added these in here for anyone that's new to Love Out Loud, to give a little bit of context to the movement and why you would choose us over a different community. As I said in my intro, Love Out Loud really is a community of shared vision, which has so much power. You know, if you want to go far and you want to go fast, precision is really, really important. And one of my mentors used to say, you know, you hit the bullseye by taking your time to get all of the details right and then pushing that arrow forward, rather than just throwing a million arrows at the board and hoping one of them hits the bullseye. And this is something that I know the community demonstrates so much, is that due consideration, that mindfulness and the cohesion and the synergy. We actually launched our last quarter's energetic theme, which I set every 90 days for the team, and this quarter was synergy. So we're now in the quarter of synergy, and that really is what this is about, is synergizing with each other. It's a diverse community where intersectionality is being deeply considered. You know, often we don't know what we don't know, and we're not aware of our unconscious bias. So as a team, we're always seeking broader perspectives, and I'm very passionate about disruption in my leadership so that we can shake the boat of what we think we know, or where we think we're being inclusive, and become even more inclusive and expansive, because it just adds so much to what we're creating. We're world leaders in compassionate living, philosophy, and community building. You know, Love Out Loud is a philosophy. I'm very passionate about philosophy. Philosophy circles are actually included in one of the offerings that we're offering as a membership. You know, once upon a time, philosophy was seen as one of the main ways to evolve a society. And philosophy is all about being in the question, whereas science is about finding the definitive answer. And what I love about being in the question is you're constantly being exposed to infinite possibilities. And that's why I know us to be world leaders in this, because we're constantly looking at how we can be evolving and responding. There's nothing about Love Out Loud as an organism, as a movement, as a business that's fixed. It's a decentralized model where everyone owns the vision, and this will only become more true the more we disrupt the systems in which we grow community, the systems in which we operate as a business. This really is just the beginning. Eventually, I'd love this membership to be on its own platform, so it's decentralized in those ways as well. So please know that what you see now and what you're going to be engaging with now is going to be consistently and continually evolving and iterating, also dependent on your feedback. I really like to include information on who the membership's for, as well as who the membership is not for, so that we can create that distinction of, you know, what's going to make this work, and the sorts of traits that if you come into the membership probably won't work. So the first is we're looking for people that are collaborative souls, looking to find a vibe tribe or a soul family, those willing to look at themselves and challenge limited ideologies and unconscious bias standing in the way of unity. So as you go through this experience of the membership, you're going to be doing a lot of work on your personal development, and you're also going to be doing a lot of work around your leadership and how to bring these new epiphanies of self into the landscape of global change and leadership. And some of you may have seen mine and Shay's talk on Zoom. It ended up going for 2.5 hours, where we discussed the distinction between personal development and social impact. I really encourage you guys, to watch that. I think the teams actually cut it down into segments, so you don't have to watch it all at once. This is something that I really champion and stand for in my leadership, is not just creating personal development for self's sake, actually evolving yourself so that we can become a better, stronger condition to create meaningful change in the world and to bring our gifts to the world. Definitely those willing to challenge mainstream thinking and step fully into their leadership, those who really want to work towards a bigger vision and resonate with the idea of creating a legacy that's bigger than them. And those with an undeniable feeling, and I'd probably emphasize this the most, of there's got to be more out there. Like, if you watch mainstream media, if you see what most people are talking about on their social media, and you're just like, there has to be more, there's got to be people that care about things that matter, there's got to be a community of people that I can connect with on an emotional, spiritual and intellectual level, this really is the place to come and to find that. And yeah, those who are looking to evolve on all of those levels, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and I'm sure physically too. The more we wake up, the more we understand that it's all interconnected. Who is it not for? Those unwilling to look at themselves. You probably don't want to join this group because it's going to bring some stuff up for you. If you don't really believe in a compassionate approach to life, it's okay to be a realist. It's okay to have areas of skepticism, but the foundations and the principles of this philosophy is compassion really is one of the most important keys to our evolution. So if you don't agree with that for whatever reason, you might not find that much synergy in our community. Those who wish to be spectators, so if you kind of want to sit on the sidelines and silently judge everyone in the group, again, this is probably not the group for you. We're looking for people that are willing to lean in and obviously share in your own time without pressure, but who have a heart for what we're doing and have a desire to want to communicate and share ideas. And those who are unwilling to essentially be collaborative probably won't find much solace in here. So this is the exciting bit. This is where we get to show you guys the actual schedule of how things roll month to month. So the schedule operates in cycles of 30 days, with some things being quarterly. And I'm going to break this down for you as we go through so that you can see what is involved in each offering. You can see that it's a pretty full membership. So every week there's going to be at least two or three, sometimes 4 offerings. So it doesn't mean we're expecting you to be involved in every single one of these offerings, but please know that at any point as a member, there's going to be things that you can jump into, engage with, interact with. We've designed it intentionally for that. We've put it across various time zones, really taking into consideration that a lot of our members are going to be in the US and the UK, in which instances we've really tried to create sessions that are early morning AEST time so that that's compatible. It's about this time now will be when these offerings are rolling. These times, FYI, are in AEST time, as you can see below. So when you join the membership, you're going to be sent a survey, and the survey is called the Love Fear Assessment. Now, the Love Fear Assessment is a very important part of your onboarding process. It's going to give you a little bit of insight into where you're sitting on the spectrum of being the full embodiment of being able to love out loud with no barriers, and what areas where there still might be some fear there. And we've done this so that we can help direct you guys in your interaction and engagement with the membership. The reason we've done this, as I said before, so many memberships statistically seem to have really low engagement. So in order to overcome that, we started asking ourselves questions like, well, why wouldn't someone engage? Maybe because they don't know how to engage, or they feel intimidated to engage. So by onboarding you in this way and giving you some insight and helping actually guide your involvement and your interaction based on where you're at in your journey, we thought this might be a more empowering way to onboard and welcome and initiate members into the group. So if you're at the very beginning of your journey, for instance, and you've never even thought about love or fear, or what it means to love yourself, or what it means to live a compassionate life, you might be at the very beginning of your journey, in which case we'll guide you towards the offerings that are really centered around your development and doing the work on your heart first, with obviously the intention as you go through and as you evolve yourself to become a leader of the tribe. We want everything to have like that infinite trajectory of opportunity for tribe members, so that at no point is there a feeling of complacency or like I've done everything. And the nature of these offerings are dynamic. So it's going to be different discussions, different content every single week to make sure that it's consistently engaging and you're consistently evolving as you go through. So on the love fear assessment, if you score under 50% in love, for example, then you probably want to start with things like the Tribe Connection call, which is going to actually help onboard you into the philosophy of love. You also, all members get access to our 9-week course, which is it retails at $240 AUD, but it has about $3,000 worth of value, and we give that to you as a thank you for participating, and also because the online course goes through 9 key modules of the Love Out Loud philosophy and really helps you do that work on yourself. It's structured so that there are small bite-sized daily videos, no longer than about 4 minutes. They're usually 2 to 4 minutes, and then a daily challenge. And over the 9 weeks, the aim is to get you completely in a different flow of your habits, of your mindset, of your behaviors, introduce you to a philosophy that will guide you out of fear and into love. So we recommend that everyone does this, but specifically if you're new to the community, if you're new to this philosophy, this is a really great place where your hand will be held all the way through that development journey. And also the Tribe Connection circles, this is a great place to come. And if you have questions as you're going through that course, for instance, to ask them to one of our tribe facilitators to get the support you need, to get the clarity you need. Other places that would be really great, to begin with, if you're really new to this work, is things like the 90-minute Q&A. If you have any questions for me, I'll be essentially put on the hot seat and there to answer any questions that you have about the community, about entrepreneurship, about love, about the philosophy of Love Out Loud, and anything in between. Maybe don't abuse that power, but I'll do my best always to be as available as I possibly can to you guys. Or the philosophy conversations would be another really amazing thing to prioritize. If you're sitting over 50%, between 50 and 70%, you're stepping into your leadership, which is really incredible. So this is where our other offerings like the think tanks, the activation with guest speakers, where you can ask industry experts questions about leadership, learn, be mentored by people who are those few steps ahead of you. And then if you're above 70%, you're a leader, and this is where we'll start to ask you to become what's called a conversation starter, or a tribe leader, actually leading the conversations in the think tank, making sure that everyone has a voice, making sure that you're keeping up to date with the trends of the social impact areas that you're passionate about. And you'll choose 3, by the way. I'll show you in a sec what the 13 areas are. You'll choose up to 3 areas that you're really passionate about, which will put you in the respective conversations that you want to be in. If there's only one that you want to focus on, that's amazing. We just didn't want to limit you to only one. If you selected all 13, this would literally become like a full-time job. So we've said 3 is probably the max for you to get full engagement and to really like learn on a deep level. If you go over that, you might be overcommitted. And we ask you that going into the membership, what your key areas are, again, so we can tailor and direct you based on your passion and your interests. So these are the individual offerings and what's involved. Every month I'll jump on and do a 90-minute Q&A, and you'll have an opportunity to pre-submit any questions that you have. We'll also do open space for 30 minutes at the end where anyone can ask anything that they want, first in, best served, so to speak. I wanted to make this like fully available so that I can bring clarity to anything that you guys need, really, with Love Out Loud. It's also a great forum if you have, you know, ideas on how you want the membership to evolve, for instance. This can be a great space to have that discourse, and I can be completely responsive to whatever you guys are wanting and needing as a community. So I haven't talked about this yet because this is what I am probably most excited about. Every quarter, as well as these week-to-week offerings, we're going to do a heart tank. When I said to the Master Heart Tribe, we should do a shark tank, they were like, no, we're going to do a heart tank, because a shark tank doesn't sound very Love Out Loud. And there's a lot of exciting things about this. So you guys probably might have heard of what a shark tank is. A shark tank traditionally is a pitch fest where entrepreneurs can come and they can pitch their ideas. So I was like, this would be an amazing model to implement into our membership and make it a heart tank. So like a shark tank without all of the anxiety, without all the fear, where you can submit every quarter ideas that you're working on. It can be projects that you're working on within the think tanks themselves. And the team, or a few selected members from the team, will shortlist we'll shortlist 5, and then it will be down to the community vote over 2 rounds who becomes the winner. So we'll shortlist the top 5, say there are 100 applications, we'll boil that down to 5, and then on the Saturday, you can see it in the schedule down here, the Saturday will be the semi-finals where all 5 pitch, then the tribe will choose the top 3, and then the following day will be the finals where the winner will be selected. This is something that lights me up so much because it nourishes, it nurtures an entrepreneurial spirit. It gives us opportunity to reach out and work more broadly and profoundly with partners. I want to, like, personally, through Love Out Loud, put a starting bid of $500 as seed money, but my aim and my vision for the winner is that we continue to build this up. So we reach out to people who are passionate about these areas of social change, who might be philanthropists or other entrepreneurs or investors, to sit with us and actually guide you through this process and continue to build up these opportunities for the Heart Tank winners. Other incentives will be a content partnership with us. So we actually help you develop your content and launch your ideas into the world, which we will cross promote, which is really, really exciting. Helping you and supporting you to write media releases and PR support. This, again, I think there's so much potential in this for us to grow and scale and really create like some profound traction around these heart-based projects in the world, especially looking at some of our previous partners, specifically partners that we partnered with for Meditate for Love. I've reached out to a few of them and said, whoa, and said, you know, what do you think about this? And they're really, really excited about, you know, what this can mean and how they could partner with us through this process too. So it's pretty amazing. The Heart Tank, I've said think tank, I meant Heart Tank. Oh no, sorry, the actual think tanks. So if you're a winner of the Heart Tank, you'll be, you get the opportunity, if you want, it's not expected, to become a think tank leader, which means you can be a conversation starter within that group and lead your respective think tanks. I'll do live interviews with you, and you can reach out to the community and ask for the support that you need. This is something, as we evolve and grow, I want this to be on a platform that has even stronger capabilities to mobilize these ideas. Like, we're talking with High Vibe at the moment around an app they're developing and potentially being a partner in that app that is designed to help mobilize ideas and mobilize projects quickly. So if you're the winner of the Heart Tank, for instance, you can post the project and the campaign, and then you can select all of the skills you need. And because everyone on that membership would have filled out their skills and all of that information, it will notify people to apply to help support you in the execution of your project. So that's just a sort of snippet into where I want to take this over time as the membership grows and as we have more resource to be able to do that, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, so that's the Heart Tank. Every 90 days. We were going to do it every month, and then we were like, that's a lot every month. So we want to build it up and make it something really special. So we thought every 90 days was a good amount of time in between each one. So monthly activations are going to be included where we invite guests. We're happy to put polls out throughout the month and ask, you know, what sort of areas you'd like us to bring these speakers in from, you know, areas of expertise, areas of thought leadership that you really feel could benefit our ever-evolving community, and we'll do the work to find the right fit. The intentions for them to discuss their insights and really find people who have had experience in mobilizing community so that we continue to bring that information and that wisdom into our community to help scale and grow. This one, Shay and I are both very passionate about. So as I mentioned before, Shay's our head of social impact, and she's an incredible writer. She's an incredible thought leader in her own ways, and Shay's working on a really incredible content project as well for Love Out Loud at the moment over the next 12 months, where we deeply explore these areas of social impact and create really meaningful content pieces around it. When we were designing the membership, one conversation that Shay and I had was, how do we include the community and the members in really shaping Love's voice in the media, which I think is such an important thing in today's world to, you know, disrupt how media, just how media communicates messages. So the intention of this media think tank, which is an additional, this is outside the 13 areas of social impact. This is something that Shay will run and champion outside of that, but within the membership, is being able to come and sort of look at global affairs and current affairs under a microscope. So, you know, COVID might have been a great example, or, you know, the next US election, for instance, and really looking at like a rounded view of what does Love's voice have to say around this, you know, how can we create content pieces that are actually fair and true and consider all perspectives rather than being a violent us and them mentality. How can we actually create a voice as a community that shapes what love looks like and demonstrate that? And it really is, you know, pioneering in so many ways, because not many of us have had exposure to examples of this, which is why we wanted to open it up to the community so much, because Love Out Loud's voice is as much yours as it is ours. From there, Shay will be integrating that into the content pieces that she's creating for Love Out Loud and pioneering this change in the world. So it will really be an opportunity for you guys to have your voice heard in a really meaningful global way. The monthly tribe connection call. So this is a space to come and hang out. When we can run events again in person, we often do these in person, but we want to open this up as well to the members so that we are all unified in that. I kind of can see down the track as more and more facilitators around the world are trained in Love Out Loud and running their own in-person circles, how amazing it would be to profile different facilitator circles into the membership every month. So we could have like a setup in one of the circles in France, or one of the circles in LA, or one of the circles in Australia or New York, wherever that may be in the world, and have the online community there sharing that experience too. And essentially being able to cross-pollinate and meet different Love Out Loud communities around the world will be really special. But for now, we're going to be running them online. But I'm very interested when we can be running events in person again, how we can bring them together. Philosophy nights, yeah, or day, depending on where you are in the world. My friends and I used to do this, and this was like one of my highlights that we used to get together and do, where we would essentially come together and discuss a question, and we would discuss it for hours and hours and hours and hours from all different angles. So this really is about deepening our practice of being in the question, of living the philosophy of love out loud. So every month we're going to choose a really deep leading question, and then open up a conversation around that with the rest of the tribe. So the think tanks themselves, how is this going to run? These are the 13 areas of social impact. Let's start here. Number one is, of course, the world's largest love-based movement. We were like, this needs its own think tank. Facilitating the world's largest love-based movement is no mean feat. We definitely need our own think tank. So this is the space to ideate ways that we can evolve and progress the movement. How we can expand at rapid scale without compromising culture, all these sorts of things. The second, environmental regeneration. How do we ensure, similar to what Jenny was speaking to earlier in the call, how do we ensure that people are really understanding the impact that we're having right now on the environment and creating more sustainable futures? Global health and well-being. So as you can see, a lot of these areas of social impact will include many sub areas of passion. So global health and well-being will include things like education around nutrition and physical health, mental health, so on. Local strong communities. One thing that became really clear to me along my journey is how many change makers are so interested in creating global change that they forget to understand that we really create global change when we start to act locally and we start to build strong communities. So what we hope will emerge from this think tank is that understanding of truly how to think globally but act locally, think about the bigger picture, and really be committed to your local community as a leader. Equal access to opportunity and abundance. It's probably, other than the world's largest love-based movement, that could very well be my second area of passion. I'm very, very passionate about equal opportunity. Again, what we're modeling as a movement, I want to bring closer and closer to the full embodiment of that we're creating that equal access no matter who you are, with limited barriers to entry. Food sovereignty, conscious relationships and family units, civil rights, social awareness and reconciliation, animal rights, gender equality, reconciliation and empowerment. Again, we've really tried to look at this through the lens rather than it being segregated, these conversations around gender. How do we have these conversations in a way that's unified, especially being inclusive of people who are non-binary, people who don't identify as male or female. We really don't want to create, or the trans community, we don't want to create think tanks where there's a potential for someone to feel marginalized. So we've really taken that deeply into consideration with everything that we've created here. Informed sexuality and sexual liberation. This was an important one for us as well, because so many of the tribe voted that sexuality was an area of passion. But what we noticed is when we put areas up like, domestic violence or family violence, that had, I think, 3% of our tribe vote as an area of passion, and yet about 90% voted sexuality as an area of passion. And one thing we wanted to bring light to was, until we're willing to acknowledge and look at these areas that really require our attention and our love, how can we have, say, a sexually liberated world whilst a lot of these areas that are a bit uglier and harder to look at are not being addressed? So taking that into consideration with these think tanks, this really is about acknowledging what needs to be acknowledged in order to create a more loving world, so that we don't make the mistakes of the past. And this is why conversations are so powerful. Conversations change the world, truly. And we need to be knowing the right things to talk about and the right questions to be asking, which is what you'll be guided through in these think tanks. 12 is ethical business, social enterprise, and social impact. Again, as a movement, always very, very open to how we can iterate our business models to be more effective, to be more scalable. And the last being disability support, inclusion, and development. Disability is actually the largest minority globally, and we still have a long way to go in creating a world that is accessible and inclusive of those with disabilities. So very worthy 13th area of focus. A few notes around this. We're going to open up applications now, actually. So maybe Kate, you can drop the application in the comments on Zoom and also on the Facebook. We're opening applications for conversation starters. So we're calling forward tribe members who really want to support us and work with the core team in making these conversations meaningful, in engaging everyone within those think tanks to step more powerfully into their leadership. The team leaders, the conversation starters will have that consistent communication with my team and I, where they're relaying the conversations, how we can mobilize and support as a core team. And then really for us being able to trust them and lean on them to support the think tanks every fortnight as a really instrumental part of our success. So this is, it's a big deal for us to select you guys who apply as our conversation starters. We see you as we will be seeing you as a member of our team and instrumental to the engagement and the success of these think tanks. The other really exciting thing I wanted to talk about in relation to these think tanks is, so the global meditation we did, which was called Meditate for Love, we had a main partner, which was High Vibe Network, and Faze is absolutely amazing. We also had he's the CEO of High Vibe, and will be really instrumental. It's a very instrumental partnership for us moving forward. I believe in the work that they do so much, and as he does with Love Out Loud. But we had many other partners like Unify, partners like Healy, partners like the Marissa Peer Institute. So many people came to the table, and it really showed me what's possible and how ready the climate is for true unified change. So what I want to organize and coordinate, this is something that excites me very deeply, let me know what you guys think, is as Shay creates the content pieces for each of these areas of social impact, and as the tribe continue to evolve in these respective think tanks, I want to create global mass meditations for each of these areas of social change, so that we can get hundreds of thousands of people around the world to meditate together, to understand why these areas of social impact are important, and to actually take self-responsibility for how we all have, created these areas of marginalization, and it's hard to look at, it's hard to take self-responsibility and to understand that even the things that you have intentionally remained ignorant to, that is actually a big part of the problem. So creating meditations as a means to, one, have an area at the beginning of that meditation where we educate what this area of social impact is and why it's important. And then we all have a shared moment around the world where we truly take that ownership and that responsibility and shift the energy around how we see these things, so that we can change the world and we can work towards this heaven on earth together. Just looking at some of your comments. Yes, it's, hang on. Whoa, I've lost my thing. So, reconciliation around First Nations people and people of color is 1000% included in equal opportunity and access, as well as conscious relationships. So this was something that I'm really passionate about, and it was something that was deeply considered where this would sit in these 13 key areas of impact and change. And our hope is what we will work towards and aspire towards is that these conversations happen within really all of these areas, but specifically equal access, which is really about equality. It's about equality. It's about looking at every human being as equal. And how do we relate? So conscious relationships will include conversations like, how do we relate to others beyond our bias? How do we relate to others as a human being? And how do we see ourselves as equal and navigate our communities in a conscious way? So thank you for bringing that up, because it is something that everyone in my team is extremely, extremely passionate about, and definitely not something that we overlooked by any means. First Nation reconciliation, I used to do much work in Indigenous communities around Australia, and it fast became a very key area of passion for me, and something that the world still needs so much awareness around and acknowledgement of. So thank you for knowing that. So every month, as we launch this and we reach out to our partners, we would love to create global meditations for each of these respective areas, so that over this 12 months, all of us collectively are truly working towards global, meaningful impact and change. It's very exciting, and the partners that I've spoken to thus far are 100% on board and ready to help us scale this. So it's exciting. It's very exciting. Just added in this, why these 13 areas. I've already covered this, but it was very much about creating areas of impact that didn't create more segregation. We're inclusive, but First Nations people is a great example. Thinking about the fact that we still need to acknowledge this, but not wanting to create more segregation, meant that we wanted to approach this from the perspective of conscious relating and equal opportunity, so that we can really speak to the humanity in it all, rather than creating more segregation. It was the same for us with gender equality. We wanted to approach this conversation from a way that is inclusive of all. You also get access to the 9-week course, very exciting. So as soon as you jump in your membership, that will unlock for you. The first module you'll see is open access, and then after that, each video is unlocked after 24 hours. This is intentionally designed so that you don't binge watch all videos. You're meant to do this one day at a time. You're meant to do it over 9 weeks. There's a means to that madness. 9 weeks is considered the amount of time that it takes to strengthen and consolidate new neural pathways. So the course is actually designed to help over time, little bit by little bit, change your habits, your behaviors, your mindset from fear into love. How to join. So this is very important. You're going to actually think maybe this URL changed. Did it, Kate? Yep. I'm just going to fix this up so that there's no confusion. Is it just loveoutloud.com/membership? All right. Don't go to that URL. Go to this URL. Here we go. Yep. So you're going to go to love-outloud.com/membership. The instructions are super easy. You can jump on there, you can sign up, and all of the emails will be, all of the details, will be emailed to you, including the Love Fear assessment, the links on how to get into the membership group. Yeah, all of that will be quite self-explanatory, but please know that we're here if you have any questions. But hopefully we've covered all bases so that there wouldn't be too much confusion. And that's the full rundown. That's the full rundown, team. How was that? Give us some feedback. We're amazing. So great. So, I mean, it's just going to keep evolving. And I just know that this is really going to become the place where we come together where we learn, what tribe members are going to become interested in helping us facilitate, in helping collaborate and partner. So many of you guys after Master Heart were like, we want to collaborate. This is a platform now where we can collaborate easily and effortlessly. If there are events that you want to do together, we have a platform to be able to launch that, to seek out the support from the community. So it's very exciting. And I just invite now, so I'm just looking at Kate's comment. For those of you that have already registered with us, you obviously don't need to register again. You'll be sent the official welcome email after this Zoom. We just wanted to launch it first. If you haven't registered yet and you want to register, please go to love-outloud.com/membership and you can register now. We have our first call on Tuesday, which will kick off the schedule, and everything will be happening and good to go. I'm gonna just stay on for a couple of minutes now and see if there are any eager questions from the community. I might just look at my Facebook and see if there's any questions on Facebook, because I don't want to miss them. Or Kate, if you can see them on Facebook. Maybe if you want to. Oh, okay, cool. I'm just getting notified that you guys want to share your experiences. Okay, incredible. I would love that. So Pushka, Jenny, and Vic, our beautiful tribe members, have offered to share their experiences with Love Out Loud thus far. So I would love to hear from you guys. If you just want to, take that time one by one. Maybe Pushka, you can go first.
All right. Hey, hello everyone. It's good to see you all again, and hello to everyone on Facebook as well. Yeah, I moved into an apartment by myself last month, and I know that's not the best thing during this time, just being by myself. So this is the first time in my life I was together and things slow down at work. So I was feeling restless. Somehow I felt like I should start meditating, and I found Love Out Loud through the global meditation event, and I saw Nick facilitating. One thing led to another. Within 7 days, I think the Master Heart was starting, and I found myself, looking at the page again and again. And then I signed up for it, and then I was like, okay, let me just jump on the call and see what everybody is doing. And it's been an upward spiral ever since. So it's been 3 weeks since Master Heart, but I'm still digesting what I learned. And if I could take the biggest message for me was about just being myself. So much of the time we spend thinking and doing everything from the logical plane, and it feels so authentic and so refreshing to just let it all go, take the leap of faith, and be there.
You're so beautiful.
Yeah, I learned a lot about values, beliefs, and vision. And so I'm just talking about one session which we did throughout 4 days, and I'm still trying to digest that. I have found my values, which feels, and I have stuck it across my entire house. So whenever I'm walking, I'm looking at my values. The last 2 weeks, I have been working on my beliefs, and I have traced them back to my childhood. So instead of, I used to be ashamed about them, I used to be fearful about them, and that used to paralyze me. But now I know why they are there for. I know it's trying to protect me, or it's trying to give me a message. And that completely flips the conversation. And it's one thing, me experiencing this. I have seen my friends and my family come up to me and say, the way you're talking to us seems different. And I guess I will just rest my case there.
So good. Pushka, why would someone maybe that's watching this live stream who considers themselves to be a healthy skeptic, and they see a community who are championing this possibility of creating a world and a life built on love, what would you say directly to them?
So I would say to them that if you have ever felt that you are an imposter, you don't have a place where you belong, or if you feel that disconnect between whatever you are, and maybe sometime in the past you felt that but today it's not there, then come check this out. We'll receive you with open arms.
We love you. Look at all the love in the comments for you, Pushkar. Such a valued member of our community. Thank you, thank you. Okay.
I would not be talking online live 4 weeks back, believe me. I would not be the person who would be switching on my video.
You're an absolute natural. So beautiful. Okay, Jenny or Vic, either one, who wants to go next?
Hey everyone.
What's up?
Hey guys. Oh wow. Love out loud. So where did I find you guys? Where did you find me? I think the starting point for me, Nick, and everyone was the 3-day fear course that you generously ran, and was that early March? Must have been.
Yeah.
And I can only describe what happened after that as being a massive explosion in my heart space. I feel like I've been walking a line for a long time in my life between loving myself and then feeling like I should be doing other things and I need to grow up, and sort of telling myself these stories that I was no longer prepared to keep buying into. And in that course, and then in Master Heart, I discovered a community of people who were going to hold that love and hold me in that love. And I felt like it was this really profound energy of we can be who we are. And it's not that I needed permission to be who I am and to feel that love. It was that the encouragement of having a community of people who are all so visibly there and learning and in their own space and having their own experiences, it really lifted me. And I feel like it's lifted me into a place where I'm able to live in my heart and be who I am, and I feel incredibly supported every day. You know, I don't always engage on the Master Heart the WhatsApp, but I love reading it. I love seeing them pop up and just reading these beautiful insights from everyone, and it's just an amazing community to be part of, and it's completely changed my my approach in a way. I'm a lot more confident in being able to be really authentically me.
It's just so amazing to hear that transition for you, Jan, from fear into love. And you just shared that it's amazing to see, you know, part of what makes you feel supported is reading other people's insights and seeing them share and what's present for them. And this is in a group of 200. How is that going to feel for us when we have a group of hundreds of thousands of people inside this membership from around the world?
I love it that in each share, and this happened a lot in the Master Heart, but I'd hear someone talking and it was one sentence that I would go, oh my gosh, that is so resonates right now. And just that in a container, a glimpse of what one person has shared can become a really amazing epiphany for someone else. And we all take different parts of it. We're all hearing different things, but it's moving us all forward.
Yes. And what is it about seeing someone else just share their truth? Because really it's so simple, right? What is it about that is so powerfully transformative? How do you feel like that is such a big part of the solution when it comes to changing the world through love? Just simply seeing someone in their truth and receiving someone in their truth. Teacher, what change do you think this would make in the world, the more people that share from this space?
I get the word that comes up for me is that it's permission to be, and it's not like we need, oh, sorry, I've just had a call come in. It's not like we need permission to be anything, but when you hear and see and experience that energy of vulnerability and realness, it's just it's a massive energy of everyone being who they are.
Yes, exactly.
And we're all, and we can grow from each other, and we thrive together because we are all allowing ourselves to be in that space, whether it's in the yin or the yang, and the shadow and the light and the love and the fear. It's okay, we're all here.
Yes. And it speaks so beautifully to the fact that this impact, this change really is simple. It's common sense, but not common practice. And the more people that we have, when I talk about Love Out Loud's vision, I always try and remind people, when you hear a crazy vision, like 4% of the global population or 350 million people, it can seem so impossible, but ultimately it's just getting one person at a time to show up and be real and make different choices and have that happen again and again and again, with more and more people. And eventually that does become a critical mass. Together we give others permission, and it's so incredible hearing your reflections around the changes that have happened personally for you guys since Master Heart, in that you've noticed that other people are noticing you transform and you change. One changed person has such a powerful impact, and creating subcultures and driving those subcultures, or another word I love to use is designing counter narratives. We have a narrative on the planet right now, which is we need to be afraid and we can't be all of ourselves and we need to compete against each other. We're creating a counter narrative. Well, what if it could be different? What if things could be different? How would that look? And how would that feel? And what would become possible? And then in designing that and then getting a community to start living that, all that's required is more and more people to see us and hear us and be a part of what we're creating, until that point that it becomes mainstream. Yes. And then we change the world. This is why we need you guys. If you're watching this stream right now and you're like, what is my place? Who am I to change the world? Or who am I to step into a membership that's calling forth my leadership? Please hear what our tribe are expressing right now. We need your participation, and inside of you is a unique perspective of the world and a unique mindset that's actually required in order for us to reach this greater vision that we all have. We're all pieces of that puzzle. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank all of you.
Yeah. Yes. And Vic, are you here? Do you want to share? I'm not sure if she's online with us. It's okay if not. Okay, no Vic.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. Sorry, Victoria here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Wow, this is the tribe where I have found my truth and my voice. And attending Master Heart, that just solidified everything that I felt when I first met you, Nicole, as an embodiment of love and love out loud. That was what you were. like every word that came out of your mouth, I heard it as love, and just raising up the leadership in all of us, everyone you spoke to. So yeah, I felt that part of me rise. And in Master Heart, that was exactly what was happening to the entire community of people. And just to see everyone being so aligned in this community, that inspires me and that draws me. And it feels like a safe space and the right space for me to express my leadership, to express like how I can make an impact. And that would be impossible if it wasn't true. Like I'm just in so many social impact spaces, entrepreneurial spaces, and I don't feel this. This is so different. So yeah, my message to everyone who is considering this, like just experience being held by this container, and you'll know very soon that whether this is the right place for you. And my best guess is that you'd fall in love with this community like I did. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's such a gorgeous share. Thank you. I can like hear my team's hearts melting over you guys.
Lots of love. Thank you.
Thank you. Something you just shared then really struck a chord with me, which was to raise up the leadership, you know, in all of us. And you know, that's really what it is. I think for the most part, so many of us have grown up in a world where we've been sold this idea of what leadership's meant to look like. And if you're not authoritarian, you know, or if you're not a visionary by the mainstream definition, then you're not a leader. And it's because of that attitude and that culture that prevents us from really understanding that there's power in solidarity, there's power in togetherness when we all take ownership, when we all own the vision that a community has, and we all play an important role, and we're respected in whatever that role is and whatever our strengths in that community are, whatever our truth is. There's nothing that a community can't create together. And I just love that you speak to this, because that space, that love that is felt in this container, in this tribe, really I feel is just the space for you to come as all of you. The space to not be, you know, forced into a box of what the right way looks like, but to actually, again, like be in the question of how can we create this together with everyone's input and everyone's involvement. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and to know that works, you know, like I can't tell you how much resistance I've come up against in my leadership of people being like, you cannot grow a community like this. People will not collaborate. They will not co-create. You have to be authoritarian. You have to be like X, Y, and Z. You have to only focus on the bottom line. And, you know, it excites me because we're proving them wrong. You know, we're proving them wrong that that's not how it has to be, that we can do it a different way, that we can build community in a space that's true and real, and we can develop trust on both sides. You know, for a tribe to trust us as a team just means that we can deliver, and we'll keep delivering if we can trust in that what you're asking for is actually what you want and what you mean. We'll continue to work for you guys, and that can just be consistently reciprocated. I think throughout the history, or the most recent history of business and community building, there's been such a divide between the leaders of that community and the community themselves, and no one's listening to each other. There's no trust. So when we start to close that gap and we build it together, it's like, this is the result. So it's so beautiful, and you just reflected on that so eloquently. Thank you so much. We love you, tribe. We're calling you forward. We're calling you forward. Anyone that's watching on Facebook, to come and join us. We've created a platform where literally we're putting all of our content, all of the access, all of the love, all of the tools and resources that we need to make this movement this movement's vision a reality. So now it's just about us coming together and telling everyone that we know about this space, about what's involved, about how they can be a leader of change in the world, especially right now, especially whilst we have space to go deep into this work and we have time to be in these very important conversations. Do not allow this time that we've had and this space that we've had to pass us by and for things to just go back to how they were. You know, this is the opportunity to make permanent change. This is an opportunity that really is a once in a lifetime opportunity that we have right now. And this will be a catalyst for us to make real-time change and challenge what we believe is possible in the world together. So please go to love-outloud.com/membership. Join us. Our first call is on Tuesday. Apply to be a conversation starter. We'll post the link again. This is a new paradigm. This is a completely new way of doing things. It's only going to become more and evolve beyond, what it is now. Every day, the intention is to get stronger and better and tighter as a community. And we need your input in order to make that dream a reality. So let's do it, tribe. Let's do it. Conversation starter application. Kate's just posted the link once more, maybe posting it on the Facebook comments too, so that there's a few people with us, which is great, on Facebook. The survey's, I think, 9 questions. It shouldn't take too much time. Once you become a conversation starter, if you've applied and you've been accepted, and you'll have an onboarding process which will consist of more free leadership training. So it's very much a brilliant opportunity for someone that's passionate about social impact through the lens of love. And just to clarify, we look through all of these areas of social change through the lens of love, through the Love Out Loud philosophy, of course, to create more solidarity. So on behalf of my whole team, thank you. Thank you for everyone that stayed with us over this hour and 20 minutes. We're making history. We're doing it. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you to my team for working so hard in getting this up and delivered in such a short amount of time. See you in there. See you in there, tribe. These are such beautiful comments, Kate. I think you should keep them.
I know, it's so hard to leave.
Can we copy some of these over?
You can copy and paste them into a doc.
Yeah.
You can save the comments on Zoom call, right?
Yeah, they automatically download.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
amazing. We need to capture this and put it in a scrapbook.
Part of the mural on the new office wall.
Oh, yes. Put all of the photos of your faces so my team can look at you all every day. We love you.
Love you guys. Thanks for being with us.